I forgot to unplug or turn off my speaker again. Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Hokey smokes. It is kind of chill outside, and I am really, really tired. Oh my gosh. Up at 4 in the morning because of gut pain, and then after getting back to bed, I stayed in bed until 7:30. And now it's 9:06, and I'm still finding it difficult to keep my brain going. Thumbs up. Hopefully you're having a better day. And hey, front loading of videos. If you could toss their like, that'd be awesome. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that'd be double plus good. And I wish I could put the names of all my Patreon patrons up here. I can't think of any good way, any way at all, to be able to paste the names in. And there are so many I can't just type them out. But hopefully you'll be able to check them out, the links below. That would be cool. And if you could check out my various links, if you could become a patron, there are links in the video description for the patronage, and there's links for a PayPal for possible donations, an Amazon wish link that I have to go through and update. And so, thumbs up. Thank you very much, each and every one of you. Greatly appreciated. And hey, front loading of videos over. Yay! My routine continues to change. I've mentioned before that I've moved my plastic RPG table that I use to do the RPGing here onto a semi-permanent basis here until I can get my computer over there up and running. I need something that I can put like the notebooks on and the keyboard for my PlayStation and all that. So I've moved the table here. Problem is, of course, this area is adapted for my sitting where the table is, so I could be at the keyboard garage with all of this stuff. So plopping a table into the middle of this, suddenly I've got all that room gone, which means I'm smushed way back in this direction. And so to stay better centered, I've had to move the monitor there, which moves the camera. So now the view back here is all different, and I gotta change things, and so that part's driving me absolutely crazy. Change in routine again. Now, I have mentioned that with my computer down, I can only see right now 3 choices. Fix it myself, have somebody that I know or in family fix it, or take it someplace and pay them to fix it. I've already tried to do it. The first time I put it together, it at least partially ran. But then when I was double checking it after that, I realized that, hey, the heatsink isn't on as tight as it should be. So I tightened it up the way they said to, but I don't know if I cracked the chip. I don't know if I burned the chip. I don't know if the chip is absolutely fine. But when I tried it again, it wouldn't even boot up as far as it did the first time. So I am afraid to do anything else with it now. That's why I'm not going to touch it again, because if I haven't destroyed it yet, I'm pretty sure I will. I'm only putting myself down this way because of my age and my shaky hands, the nerve damage which gives me shaky hands, my ADHD which makes it almost impossible to concentrate. So, oy vey. Yeah, I can't do it myself. I have nobody in family that can do it for me, and I can't afford to take it anywhere to pay somebody to get it done. So, right now, where I am standing, I can only see 3 trees in the forest ahead of me, and each one of those trees I am unable to do anything with. That's a perception issue. There are other options. I don't know what they are right now because of the glasses that I am wearing because of the situation provides information that makes it so I can only see these 3 options. I need to be able to take those glasses off, and then I'll be able to see all the other options out there. I know what the situation is. I know what I have to be able to do. It is a perception thing that I haven't been able to change yet. I'm working on that, as well as I have somebody online who they said, let's see if we can get like the Geek Squad involved to have somebody come out and fix it. The only problem with that is I live in the tiny town of Shelton. The only place where there is like a Geek Squad is in Olympia, And that is at least a 25 to 30 mile drive that they would have to make. It's going to be expensive because I don't have a vehicle. I can't drive anywhere. I have to walk in town where I live to go anywhere. So I can't ask anyone to pay the Geek Squad to spend 30 miles to get here and then try to figure out what they need and go, oh, you need this, and then have to drive all the way back to drive all the way back to. It'll be so expensive. So right now, with the glasses on, with the situation with my perception, it's hard to see another option. There are other options. I'm working to get those glasses off so I can see them. Thumbs up for that. But for right now, my routine, habit, everything is destroyed. All of the games that I wanted to play are on my actual PC. And even though a lot of them are like Steam and GOG and all that, I can't access that stuff. Note tabs like these things won't play those. So, yay. So yeah, huge break in routine with my ADHD, where I am on my own personal autism spectrum, because absolutely every person that is an autistic person is on their own personal autism spectrum. Just like anything else, everybody is different in their own particular way. There is no blanket statement that accurately represents everybody. Everybody who is an autistic person is on the autism spectrum, but there is no big one spectrum. Every person has their own personal. So, yay. But let me check out my list, because I've talked about the gut pain. I've talked about this here. I want to talk about some other things. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. So after 2 days of not going for walkies for real, last night I made a 7-mile round trip all the way up to Walmart and back. My left ankle stopped hurting as much after about 1.5 miles. Today, it's still swollen. There is a slightly still red spot that is still slightly warm. Today my antibiotics run out. I'm probably going to have to walk to the ER again tomorrow or so. We shall see what happens. Joy. But it hurts less. It's less swollen, but it is still slightly red, and it is still vaguely warm. So, joy. And then, Jesse Koskinen mentioned that it's becoming spring in Finland. It had become spring over here in the Pacific Northwest for a little while. Where to go out walkies, I was just wearing my inner shirt, safety vest, and my backpack. Oh boy, last couple nights, I was wearing my inner shirt, this shirt, a flannel shirt, safety vest, backpack, and I was still cold. It wasn't even freezing either, but it was very chill and windy. Oh boy. So thumbs up for that. There's not just a whole bunch of stuff. Somebody else asked about some things. So one, I'm going to try and quickly talk about this. I've mentioned before, and I have so far all the books for D100 Dungeon. And I have a book that is the D100 Space, a science fiction version of that. On Kickstarter, there is a person who's trying to get a game called 2D6 Dungeon. I read about this. I watched a video about this, checking the time. Watched the video about this on a channel called The Dungeon Dive. It being on Kickstarter, it's not fully out yet, but you can download a free version of it so far. There are apparently going to be like 9 dungeons, but everything is completely random when you're going into the dungeon. Random tables and random stuff, and that's very good. And even the combat is different. It's very cool, very awesome. A lot of good things that you can do. The only thing that I kind of don't like about it is because there are 9 dungeons, it appears to be more like Note Quest in that each dungeon has its own spread of random tables. So this first dungeon is a human dungeon, and so the tables and all that are set up for a random dungeon human encounters. Other dungeons are going to have other focuses, so each one is basically going to have its own book. Because right now you have a book of core rules, and then you have a book of random tables for this dungeon. So they're probably going to have not copies, but variations of the tables for each dungeon type, with the core rules being the same. It looks really cool. I downloaded the first thing and I want to show that off and play it myself. So hopefully I can get something done. Good old ADHD and executive function. So let me checking out what else I have on the rest of my list here. I also did watch Gemini Home Entertainment, which is an analog horror series. The only thing I don't like about that is it appears to be a little bit too much slow burn. Because as you're watching the videos that are put out by this Gemini Home Entertainment, there's like, I don't know, 20 or 25 something odd videos. At about 12 or 13, that's where you realize people in the world, they would have already known everything that's happening. So they kind of too slow burned it, but it is good. So if you look up Gemini Home Entertainment, please watch it. It's very good. Which, as a side, I've also been re-listening to. There's this group called Cyclopean. Cyclopean does dark ambient experimental type stuff where they do like 40-minute presentations of ambient music based on themes so far of Lovecraftian themes. Like I've been re-listening to the King in Yellow album. Now, while the King in Yellow is not actually an H.P. Lovecraft invention, it did get sucked into the whole mythos. And they have all kinds of other albums, all of them based around the various Lovecraftian stories. And they are good. Cyclopean is spelled P-S-Y-C-L-O-P-E-A-N. So hopefully I'll have a link down in the video description to the King in Yellow album. And I just wanted to mention that because it's very, very good. Now I'm going to be going with the creative stuff as best I can with my setting here. So I'm going to talk about that. Yay! Like, partly somebody asked me in comments, do I have any names for the projects that I'm working on? And yes, actually, because there are two projects. The one of them takes place primarily on the Razor's Edge, with some stuff happening on the inside, the universe setting I have, and on the outside, which is where we are. And that is, and that project is A Day in the Life, a Year on the Razor's Edge. And it is a project that spans from, it starts at day 1, goes for approximately 365 days, and then it's over. And then everything that's happening within this period, I just jump in and talk about on a slice of life thing. So as it goes, there is an overall arcing narrative, but each individual piece is just a slice of life of what is happening at that time. So that's working out rather well. In fact, I've been working on minor details in my head, but largely the major parts of the story appear to be finished. Now with the Cryptid stuff, it's not exactly the same type of project in that it's going to span a length of time, but it's going to be much, much, much less temporally in line. It's going to do a whole lot of chronological jumping, and there's going to be tales that explain why something is the way it is now when it happened like 50, 100, 200 years ago. So there's going to be a lot of back and forthing through time, because the Razor's Edge stuff follows a narrative from here to there. But on the Cryptid side, of course, it's bouncing back and forth this way as it goes with the narrative. So the narrative goes from here to here, but inside of that overarching meta-narrative, it's everywhere chronologically. Sometimes up here, sometimes back here, sometimes here, sometimes here. So, yeah, I'm working on that, which, did I already say that? Something like Spent in Shadow, Broken Lives in the Cryptid World. And that is the name of that one, because unlike the Razor's Edge stories, which are about overcoming challenges and their tales of hope, in the Cryptid World, stories are largely tales of accepting inevitabilities. No real hope, and a lot of people don't end up surviving because life is hard. And accepting inevitability is sometimes means accepting that you're not going to be alive in 1 or 2 more minutes. You better accept some stuff real quick. Now, one of the other things that I have been doing here is I have been really zoomed in on the Dempty family right now. Now, previously on the whole Razor's Edge and up to this point on the Cryptid World setting, what I've been using the characters for is I think of something that requires me to really work on a concept, and then to explore that concept, I have come up with characters with their situations that deal with that. Now, I'm not pushing for that. This is my subconscious bubbling the stuff up, and then I'm chasing those bubbles as they arrive, and that is how that is working. Now, if I can remember what I was just saying. Yes, zooming in. So, like, where there's a story of Iron John. Iron John, on the Razor's Edge stuff, he was from 1.4 million years ago. His entire world and people and home and stuff are 1.4 million years gone. And his is a story of overcoming challenges because he has to learn to let go of this grief and mourning. You can't carry this ball of pain into the future. You have to let go of the ball of pain so you can reconcile with the present, so you can move into the future. That's the whole idea behind his story, so I don't have a whole lot to zoom in on past that with his life. On to another situation. The Cryptid World, I've been largely doing that, except spending more time with each individuals, and some of them existing not for a specific thing, but just to generally show how the world is existing. Like Tommy, a character, a guy who runs one of the Uncle Bonbon's third eye stands, where he's a human being selling products made from human beings to other human beings who come up and eat these products made from people. And how does he feel about this? It doesn't bother him at all, not even in the slightest. In fact, he eats the products himself. And when this one cryptid comes by to restock the various things so he can make sandwiches and burgers and the like, it's, hey, Lenny the Meat Man. And Lenny the Meat Man is just Lenny. He's a cryptid that delivers meat products to various people. Well, the various stands of the Uncle Bonbon stuff. So they're not always characters that have a point to them. But I have been really zoomed in on the Dempty family and what they're doing. And I think I'm largely zoomed in on this because I have been trying to explore more of the not exactly rural, but not exactly urban people and cryptids that live in these smaller, tiny areas. Like the Dempty family, they're close to urban centers, but they're not rural. But they're not actually in the urban center. But they are urban. They're just kind of out there because they are on a large, it's not a decommissioned highway, but it was a state highway that got a lot of traffic, and then the large interstates rerouted traffic, so now people come by, just not a lot, just enough to keep them going with their little convenience store, gas station, RV platform, and right on the shores of Lake Vista, one of those thousands of little oval lakes in the South Carolina, North Carolina, all those southeastern areas, just thousands of these little oval lakes. Nobody knows where they came from. But they are urban. They are not rural. And I've been spending a lot of time with them because I don't know why, but they really fascinate. I like Barb. Barb is one of Jacob and Monica's daughters. I really like her, even though I don't know a whole lot about her, and even though she lives in a world where, yeah, 2 to 5% of the power structure, the corporate power structure, gets eaten in promotion attempts by people down below trying to eat their way up the power structure. That's how Barb got where she is. That's a risk. And then Nis, who's just the drifter. I really like her, and I'm spending a lot of time with her and Kay. And then Annie, just the human character, where she is going to take over the farm. In fact, just on with this other stuff, I've already, my subconscious has figured, she too, in a couple years, going into town and knifing people to death so she can bring them home and the family can eat them. She's going to get a partner. Human or cryptid, I don't know, but it's she's going to fall in love with another woman, and they are going to move in.
Battery low.
I forgot to turn off my speaker again. They're going to move into the park together. And then, following the urges of their subconscious,
Power off.
and the various requirements that they have for this, they will, every other year, one of them will go into town, find some randy young buck, spend about 24 hours getting raw dogged until, well, they're both chafed so hard they're almost bleeding, and then she'll just cast them off, break their hearts, and then never talk to them again, head out to the RV park and pump out another kid. So they're going to have a clan out there on the RV park, and there's always going to be kids, and people are going to be just, they don't mind the kids because it's a convenience store, gas station, RV park, and place where you can come have a picnic or rent a boat and go out on the lake. Thumbs up for that. It's about 20 miles away from Brookerton. It's about 5 miles away from a smaller, closer place, and I am still fascinated by Jacob and Annie, who are both human, but they are humans who have their third eye open. And Barb and Nis, of course, are cryptids, and Monica is a cryptid. I'm just zoomed in tight on this, and I'm not quite sure why, other than the fact that I really like them. Now, of course, at 22 minutes in, I'm going to go through and quickly thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. Blue Toad, thumbs up, thank you. And I wish I knew more of the details about that kid that was neglected. It does sound weird, and it sounds like the mother should have been more involved because danger signs and red flags everywhere. But I don't know any more of the details, only that they won, and they're going to be suing even more people. So, I don't know. Then that we have Jesse Koskinen, always good to see you in the comments. Larry from Space, thumbs up and thank you. We have Cinematic Horror, who is one of those people that helps me with finding things out on the latest PS4 Minecraft thing. I had some questions, so thumbs up, thank you all. There is Loran, Loran, greatly appreciated, and Seven Seal, thumbs up, thank you. Big Old Worm, greatly appreciated, with a good plan. And I need to make a boat for my latest Minecraft thing too. There is Lewis, thumbs up and thank you. Here's a hoping. Floramu, greatly appreciated. Don't worry, there'll be other cryptid things. It's just as good as the bus. But thumbs up. And then we have Adam Whedon, greatly appreciated. Casher the Cenobite, who wants me to play Dead by Dawn. Or whatever the one, Dead by Dark? Whichever the one, that multiplayer game that I can't do right now because I don't have a working computer. It's Relit, greatly appreciated, good to see you. Nexar, and I wanted to say again, I am really sorry about your situation. I really wish I had a magic button that I could press because the things that are going on in your life and your situation, I am so sorry. Greatly appreciated and good to see you though, and thank you so much for all your help. It is appreciated very, very much. We have Beyond the Capsule, thumbs up and thank you. RJ Mitchell, greatly appreciated. And that is it. each and every one of you, thumbs up, and thank you for having left me a comment. It is appreciated getting me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people. And hey, it being a Saturday, I'm not really going to concentrate on anything at all except relaxing. So thumbs up for that. I'm still going to record for the channel. I'm still going to do things. I still want to do a series of videos just talking about my cosmic horror series and the setting. So who knows? We'll see what happens. Hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done, and don't beat yourself up if you can't. There's no reason to do that. It's not going to help you next time. It's just hurting you for no good reason. So, until we meet again, imagine I'm saying something both vaguely frightening and vaguely amusing. Greatly appreciated. Till we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I went and did that early, so I'm going to do it again. And I will see you on the flip side, my friend. And I got to grab the controller. And yeah, like I said, I could trim this part off. I've gotten better at using the Share Factory editor. I sure could.